We also have elected the president of the D'Lo Hater Club, which is his head coach, JJ Redick, president of the D'Lo Hater Club. Did y'all see the clips after the game? It was a game against the Grizzlies, I believe,
Yeah.
correct?
Well, they
So
got cooked.
D'Lo started. He ended up only playing 22 minutes, like 10, 12 minutes less than all the other starters. And they asked JJ Redick about it, and JJ Redick basically just put his head in his hands and is like, "This attention to detail and playing the right way, and a lot of things we've been working on." And sometimes he reverts to other habits. But then people started putting up the clips of ISO, D'Lo doing something stupid, and JJ Redick having like a fit of botulism, like a physical reaction to what what D'Lo is doing. How entertaining? I mean, first of all, I you just don't expect D'Lo to be on that team. Past the deadline, obviously at this point. But what was your guys' reaction to those clips and to JJ Redick's antics on the sideline as D'Lo was messing up?
Yeah, the sequence that frustrated JJ. It was a very understandably frustrating sequence. Like he didn't close out on I forget who, but someone hit a three. That was his man. He didn't close out on. He got back on the other end and took a wild contested fadeaway 3-pointer and then didn't get back on defense again and gave up another bucket. Like it was a terrible fucking sequence. But you know, I'm just interested in how JJ is handling this.
Yeah.
You know, from a coaching perspective, right? Because you know they asked him, a reporter asked him, you know, D'Lo only played 22 minutes this game, and you know there's and you know you sat him like midway through the third, and he didn't play anymore. And JJ said, well, yeah, he's not paying attention to detail. He's reverting back to old habits. That's throwing D'Lo under the bus a bit. You
For
know what I
sure.
mean?
For sure.
More
Like
than a bit, yeah.
yeah. I mean, for sure you can say that in the locker room, in the film sessions or whatever, but to say that to a reporter in a post game presser,
He's
like
not a
you're
player's
putting,
coach. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, that's especially for a dude who's only, you know, fucking 10 to 11 games deep into his coaching career.
Yeah.
And then, you know, he had that moment where, you know, he talked about how Braun was 40 years old and was playing the hardest out there. And then someone asked him, you know, well, how do you kind of, you know, pinpoint that to your players, you know, to give the same effort that LeBron is? He's like, I just already told you, and he walked off. I'm like, dog, you can't take the angle of I'm not falling for your trap of you trying to get me to lift up Braun to throw my players under the bus. Well, you just threw D'Lo under the bus. You can't do that, dog. Like you just threw D'Lo under the bus 40 seconds ago, dog. and now you're taking a stand for your players because you're not gonna let any outside forces, you know, divide your locker room or whatever, you know, whatever the stance
You
you're
are the
taking there.
division.
Yeah, you are the division, right? Yeah, but dog, yeah, it's just it's interesting to see, man. It's interesting to see how JJ is going to handle these moments where he has to take these questions, bro. Being a Lakers coach, that is the most scrutinized position in all of basketball, right? Like it's in all of, it's like top three in all of sports, right? It's like Lakers coach, Cowboys coach, like you know the fucking best player on the Yankees. Those are like the three most stressful positions in American fucking sports, right? And dog, and I don't know, I'm not necessarily impressed with the way he's been handling things in regards to kind of player relations and knowing the tightrope of when to call guys out, when not to call guys out, and all that. I don't think he's doing a good job at that. But it's like I said, he's only 10 games deep so far, so we'll see.
We spoke directly to what was going to be going on with D'Lo and how, you know, he would hold D'Lo accountable in a particular way. I figured he wouldn't be out there playing when he was fucking up. You know what I'm saying? I feel like sometimes D'Lo's intrusive thoughts be beating his ass, nigga. And when they beating his ass, sit your goofy ass down until you can get your mind right, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Learn how to play basketball again. I understand that. Throwing him under the bus, like Tyler said, I just don't agree with. I don't know how that benefits D'Lo. I know how it benefits the team. You know what I'm saying? It's just not the way to move in that situation. You know what I mean? And at the end, you know, dropping the mic, like Tyler said in the group chat, you haven't earned that yet. You are 10 games into being a head coach. You're not that guy yet, my guy. You feel me? Chill out, deal with the fucking questions. You know what I'm saying? Move in a particular way. Go in there and talk to your players, G. But yeah, like, so be, I mean, what we thought the players were fucking with him. You know, they're playing more responsibly, smarter basketball. You feel me? But the way he's moving, throwing a player under the bus, I don't know if that benefits that player and what that benefits him and what he's been doing, you know, as a coach. So yeah, it doesn't make sense to me.
I'll give you the devil's advocate take, which is I think everyone already knows at this point that D'Lo is not going to be on the team as they're trying to make the push towards the playoffs. So, given that he comes in with the players coach reputation of being bronze guy, you know, all this other stuff, I wonder if he's using D'Lo as almost like I'm going to make an example out of him with the
Yeah.
rest of the team. That's
Yeah.
like, hey, every time this guy fucks up, I'm going to be on him and I'm going to sit him, and you're going to see that that's how I coach, even if I'm not
I
necessarily.
don't do that with you.
Because we've seen lapses defensively with Braun, right? Like we have seen moments when Braun has not played to his own standard. And you're not going to see JJ Redick pull Braun out in the middle of the third quarter for the rest of the game. You're not going to see that.
Yeah. I think there's a balance though. You know what I'm saying? You know, like where Bron will have his lapses and moments, but Bron will correct it.
Yeah.
You feel me? You trust him. It was a lapse. You know what I'm saying? D'Lo, he's the type of dude where if he hits a couple shots at the beginning of the game,
it's the worst thing that could happen.
Oh my God, we fucked. If he goes like 1 for 3, okay, he's gonna approach the game in an intelligent way, questioning decisions before. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There'll be a filter there. D'Lo with no filter is scary. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you got to kind of reel him in. So I think it'll be different. It's a little different, but yes, I could make that could be true. I think that's a bad way to handle it. You know what I mean?
I agree.
Sure.
No, I do.
I know you agree. I know you agree. Yeah, I know you agree.
Okay. President.
I think there's a couple more interesting things about this D'Lo JJ kind of beef that's simmering though. I think we've all been in situations where we've had a new manager come in, and it seems like so many new managers feel like the way that they show that they're about business is they get some people fired, right? They come in and they give the boot to some people, and you're like, bro, like, and like that's like the worst thing you can do as a new manager to put folks on edge, to kind of show that I'm here to shake things up, and if you're not buying into the way I want to do things here, you're out of here. And D'Lo is like the perfect foil for that with JJ, right? Because JJ is there to help the Lakers play smart basketball, right? And D'Lo doesn't play smart basketball a lot of the times. And I also wonder how D'Lo feels from a personal perspective when you've got this coach coming down on you who you are better than. You were a better basketball player than this dude, and he's coming down on you. I wonder how D'Lo feels, and because D'Lo is and I know D'Lo thinks that all the fucking time because he's a dude who thinks way too highly of himself. Like that's his biggest flaw as a player, right? And I know he for sure is like, this motherfucker is nowhere near as good as me talking shit to me like this. So I wonder how that's going to play out, because I feel like the little schism that's between them, that's going to be like a pretty good kind of like microcosm of how JJ's coaching career is going to go.
I also think we will hear from D'Lo. Like we will hear from D'Lo about it at some point, whether it's this year or looking back in the future. But he's not going to bite his tongue on that shit for the rest of his life. So,
and he's a content guy too. You know what I'm saying? He's out here on YouTube, nigga. That's good for content. You know what I mean? You feel me? Talking this shit. But I think that's gonna. I mean, D'Lo's a good basketball player. When he's like playing good, when he's playing his best basketball, he's a great basketball player. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, that's gonna be his issue mostly. Is like, I mean, he's going to be better than most anybody that's going to, and that's probably most NBA players that are good at basketball. I mean, better than most people are telling this. But like, dude, like what he's trying to get you to do is important. You have to learn. You can't just be out there hooping. You know what I'm saying? This is a guy that understands the game in a way that D'Lo doesn't. You know what I mean? And he can game from that. So I hope D'Lo understands that. You know what I mean? But he hasn't had to, and we'll see if it happens. But it probably won't happen with the Lakers. You know what I mean?
This is too harsh of a comparison, but it just made me think of it. I don't think this is like actually fair because D'Lo is a better basketball player than this. But the way you just said that made me think of Jameis Winston. The quote that I sent in the group chat like 2 weeks ago, and he was like, when I'm making one decision after the other, I am a great quarterback. And it's like, that's the problem, ain't it? Like that, and that's kind of how I feel about D'Lo.
Part of what's hard about it.
D'Lo has a higher floor.
That's part of what's hard about those positions, bro.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
Especially
and D'Lo has a higher floor than Jameis Winston. But like it feels sort of similar. Like if you could just focus on the thing, then I feel
focus
like
on this play, making the right decision in this moment. Yeah. You know what I mean? Each moment, focus on making the right decision. And I think that's easier in basketball than it would be to be a quarterback. The roller coaster of an NFL season is moving right along, and it promises to be a month full of tricks, treats, and of course, touchdowns. And DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, is the #1 place to bet touchdowns.
Running it in from the 1 or an 80-yard bomb. We don't care how they score touchdowns. We want to bet on them. DraftKings heard us and is delivering. Ready to place your first bet? Try betting on something simple like a player to score a touchdown. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app and make your pick. It's hard not to look at player props for Jaden Daniels every week because he is balling out there. Here's a reason for new customers to do a touchdown dance of their own. Bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly.
Score big with DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code Jenkins. That's code Jenkins for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/ftball.